All right, let's start with Leodran. Or Lewis. You've been thinking it's Friday since Tuesday? Oh my god. Oh my god. That's pretty hardcore, man. So if anyone asks where the music is, you guys want to help me out? Just help them know. You need some solid tips today? All right. Fancy transitions. How you doing? Have you not seen the transitions before? Maybe because they're always sped up, like, and you're like, what was that? Anyways, okay, so United Kingdom, yes, yes. 3D environment artist, yes. Okay, so let's look at some initial. Oh, here's that song you were asking about, Neil. So this is a year ago. I'm gonna scoop through these real quickly, and then we'll go back. So 7 months, 7 months, 10 months, 8 months. So they're not necessarily in the order. They're almost in the order. 3, 8, going backwards now. 10, 7. So this one's for some reason you've moved a year ago. Okay, so excuse me. Sell, I'm not sure. I don't think you do. I don't think you need premium for that. Whoa. Emil, what's up, dude? Dude, 10 months. Oh man, you're almost in the 12-month club. There's like 3 people right now that are in that bracket. How you doing, dude? For anyone who doesn't know, Emil's a character artist. Pigeon, what's up, man? Pidgey. So, okay, so right off the bat, I would suggest removing the gun since you want to be an environment artist. If you have Pro, you'll have a blog button here. You can totally put that gun in your blog. Like, I need to start using my blog because I have so much content to just keep dumping on there because I'm not necessarily posting stuff. So let's, the gun, I'll say a quick thing about the gun is the modeling is pretty good. It's what it's missing out on is the material definition, and then like too uniform on the wear and tear. It's a little like procedural right now, and then material definition wise is separating out like metals from plastics and rubbers. Yeah, so let's move on to this guy. So this guy is a bit older, and from what I'm seeing in your earlier stuff or in your more recent stuff, your materials are definitely more on point by comparison. Cheshire, what's up? How you doing? Welcome on your congrats on your star player action. Hanlu, how you doing? Hi, Panka. Hi. The gun, I mean, the gun shows that you can do guns, not that you can do detailed props. I would say that the gun shows that you know how to do a gun. If you want to show that you can do detailed props, Shocker, what's up? Then I would actually make detailed props. You know what I mean? This is far enough back that I'm assuming this is just you're doing a different thing at the time. You know? So looking at this one, oh, this song is getting me good. I don't know. I can't do it. A little too whimsical. Yeah, and Martin's right. Props can be shown off in environments as well. I mean, if you're making a gun store, that's one way. So this prop, obviously, older as well, is super low poly. You could actually you could get away with beveling these edges, the major edges, just to kind of get away from that low poly look. And then let's see if I can. Give me a second here. See if we can find like a picture. TARDIS. Wow, that's really low res. Okay, we're going with the low res. Let's do this. Okay, so for example, you've got the font. Getting that font right, the thicker letters, the embossing of the font, or is it embossing where it goes inward? Because it's like carved into the wood. I assume this is all wood in the original edgeware, kind of paint aging, and then these little windows, right? These windows are super bright, and they don't really have like the grime and stuff you'd expect around it. If we go up here, you can see how flat everything is when it comes to materials, and like that kind of dirtiness that you're getting at the bottom there needs to be more along the lines of like kind of like that all over. See on this edging stuff here? Let me see if I can find like a... Give me a second here. We're gonna make an example. Boss, what's up? Hey, Curious, how you doing? Mr. Chief Goodwin. Welcome. Commissioner Goodwin. Let's get moto. Whoa, the blinding. Okay, so we're just gonna... I'm gonna do something real quick here. Bear with me. As soon as moto starts... Takes a while these days, I've noticed. At least with the most recent one. Might be my computer as well. Barbarics, oh my gosh, 3 months. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. As you may have noticed, there's no music. You can listen to it through Discord, possibly. Sounds like there's a little bit of an issue. You can do that up here. You can just click here, and should be like a listen button here. Or in the announcements, there should be like a join here. But I don't know. Maybe you guys are listening to your own music, which works as well. Okay, so let's, we're going to just... You guys are just going to work with me here real quick. Just going to... I'm building a example mesh. Oop. Oh. Why is there snapping? I don't want snapping. Let's just dip that in like that. I think I did too many. Oop. There we go. That works. Okay, so I'm going to just take this mesh and we're going to make like a really quick unwrap of this. Planar, we're going to do like an atlas. That works. Yay. Okay, and then we're going to... Where did you go? What's happening here? There it is. Wow, that's, nope. that not work? Oh, there we go. 2 pixel gap. Nice. Okay, we'll take this guy. That works for us, right? And I'm gonna export selected as FBX. I'm turning this into an example when we should be like going through. I want to. This is probably one of the more important things of your portfolio. Is the material definition and like thinking about how masks work and stuff. So let's go in here, do new. We'll select. Okay, so I'm just bringing this in with an auto unwrap. Okay. And then I'm just going to go to textures, and we'll just bake maps, and I'll just do all at like a 1024. That should be fine. Give it a sec here. So I always get these buttons mixed up, but is it C? No. B? Yeah, B. So B will cycle through the maps that you baked. You can see there's a little bit of an error in the AO there, the padding action going on there. We won't worry about that though. So let's, just for the sake of what we're trying to do, I'm just going to make 2 fill layers. And I'm going to make the bottom layer darker. And we'll make the top layer more rough. Okay, so we'll go to Smart Materials, or Smart Masks rather. And we'll just start dragging these onto those layers, right? So let's try dirt dry. So when you look at these, hit Alt on the Alt click the mask, and you can start to see how that mask is utilizing. Here, I'm gonna just drag this over here. Oh, whoops, that's not what we want. Can I not? We're going up there. Oh, but I want... No, I can't. No, no. This works. Okay. Nora, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay, so this is the properties of the... Oh, no, I'm getting confused. I'm like, where's the... Bring the shelf down here. Here's my layers. In this mask, all these are the properties, right? Default, it's down here. So I've extended it just so that we can see more of it on the stream. So these are, if you scroll down, you'll see the masks or the maps that it's going to utilize for the, from what you baked previously in the texture sets, all this stuff. A lot of the custom smart masks that are in here utilize a lot of these maps. I'm going to lower this mic or the music for myself. What's up, Polygons? Bowser, what's up? But I'm not liking how that one's working. So just Alt click this, and we'll just kind of go through a few others. I need to see it like this because now I'm used to seeing the stack as it is. So this one's looking pretty interesting. So you can see how like the edge, like if we look at your, where are we at here? This reference here, this edge damage here. You're getting this like kind of edge highlighting happening. And if we press M, we'll go back to the material as it was. If we go back here, and we look, let's turn the color off on this so we're just seeing the roughness. And we'll just turn this even further down. So basically you're seeing this is paint, and this would be like what's under the paint. Now, with people's masks, they tend to get quite cloudy. Like this is pretty cloudy. There's a lot of like grays or mid-ranges in the mask itself. So going into that mask and actually creating a contrast will start to give you those sharper edges. And then global balance, you just want to tighten that up a little bit. So and this is all like to taste, essentially, right? It's like you're making a nice soup. So and then you'll notice that there's this mask breakup. So there must be mask or texture information here. So you can see there's texture and then texture 2. You see this is at 1. So let's see what that's doing. That looks like it's breaking up some of the larger shapes in the mask. And this one looks like the more micro stuff. If you open these up, you can change things like the scale of that mask. You can change the contrast of the mask itself. Let's actually turn the resolution up of this. Go to 2048 just so we get nice crunchy details. Now another thing that isn't really illustrated here very well is these masks have triplanar on. Let's see if the textures do. Triplanar is pretty important if you want to make sure that you're not getting, you want to avoid as many seams as possible, and that'll help out a little bit. So let's look at that. We've got these little crevices here. Maybe those aren't working out for us. Let's see what we can do here. What I normally do is just kind of like start sliding stuff around just to see what happens. So we got ambient occlusion. If you really need to like just focus on those edge highlights, it looks like you can utilize the ambient occlusion. Looks like you can contrast the ambient occlusion. Can you invert it? Oh my god, you can. That's interesting. So now I'm using the AO to kind of mask away a lot of that information. That's cool. Yeah, so maybe this is what you're looking for. And then you're like, see those edges are it's very uniform. And this is the problem you had on your gun is these are really uniform. Making sure that that does not happen. Looks like it's going to be one of these textures. So the scale of this texture, let's see where we're at here. You gotta be careful of that contrast too, because you don't want it to like crush itself. You see when it starts to pixelate. Gotta be careful of that. And then don't forget that you can always like in the layers add other masks on top of this. Yeah, you use you paint a little bit. Yeah, so like if this was, say this was a tileable mesh, right? And you need it to tile to the next one, which this already kind of does it. You need to make sure that like these edges here don't trickle over. So what you do is you could add a paint, and on this paint mask, invert it, pressing X just like in Photoshop. And as long as the camera's not moving, you can click up here and then hold down Shift and then click down here, and you can just mask out that whole top area. Maybe I need to do this one too. So basically you're trying to eliminate that transition issue. That way it can tile on itself without having some nasty looking seam, right? And maybe the top is okay, and the bottom, maybe the bottom needs to be grounded, right? So then you'll need to add a mask, another filter on top. What did hold X do? Oh no, you press X, sorry. Press X to switch, to flip between your primary and your foreground and your background color. It's like the invert. Yeah, sorry. But if we go back to here, you could see like, now we're getting a pretty nice material breakup. Maybe you need to, in the new Substance Painter, once you've selected a layer, all these properties are in your right click as well, so you almost don't need that. You can just like, you could be here, select this layer, right click, scroll down. There's also these tabs up here. You can click this guy and then go to your materials. Maybe you need your roughness to be a little bit more subdued. Maybe you want to pick a material. Oh man, I don't know about that. Let's turn the color off and the height, and maybe we can tile it more. Yeah, no, I don't like that. That's gross. That's gross. Anywho, so you could see like this is where you get a lot of your control. Is just in these masks. And then making sure to break that up so that it's like on the edge there. Like you could, if you wanted to, you could go into this one. You could do another paint. And then you could scale it up and just fill the whole thing, right? And then just paint in where you want that to happen. Oh wait, I'm thinking about that wrong. I think you can add another mask. What? Oh man, have I forgotten how to do this? Oh no. You group it, and then you add a mask to that group. There we go. And then when you paint that back, what? No. This is gonna kill me. Hang on. This is another thing I need them to work on is this switching through these. You can't just like, you know, in Photoshop, you can just click through them. No, it's not doing it. I'm gonna have to look into that. Because there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. J.K. Shaw, put linear dodge. Ooh, okay, I have to try it now. And then we gotta get back to portfolio review. No, look at that. Oh, it's doing it, but it's not displaying it the way you expect it to. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So I guess we'll go. Maybe it's not showing it because it's not in the folder. No, that's kind of the case, but not really. So let me go to this one, and we're just gonna make sure the color is dark enough so that we can see what we're doing. Huh, we could do this too. But yeah, you can see that like you can paint those in again, but the way it's being displayed is not how you would expect it. So it's almost like seeing a vertex map, a per pixel vertex map. And then you go back to this and you can see where it's happening. But usually I try really, really hard to not spend time painting these. When you're working with masks like this, just get the masks all looking right, and then later on when you need to polish stuff and you're like finding areas that just don't look good on the overall mesh, that's when you fix those. Okay, let's go back to here. So with that, all that in mind, it's really important to just match your reference like really, really closely. And like these windows, I probably wouldn't even light them up. Maybe like, if you're gonna have them, maybe add a parallax map. I don't know what you're using for, that's just 3ds Max, okay. Or maybe, no, you're viewing this in Substance Painter, I think. So like a faked interior parallaxing. Anyway, we've spent a lot of time on that. We'll keep going. So this looks really cool. Really, really cool. I don't know if that's displacement or real. I think that's displacement. Yeah, that's displacement. Like tessellated displacement. At least that's what it, like I'm seeing in the silhouette. Anywho, this crack line here that follows this edge, I would just offset these bricks just so that those lines don't line up on that edge too closely, because your brain starts to see it as a seam. It's parallax for that one, dude. That's pretty cool. Parallax goes a long way, man. Oh, thanks for the link, Curious. So in general, this looks pretty dope. That looks like displacement, dude. That's freaking crazy. Oh, I see now. Now that I'm seeing the edge here. Okay. Okay. This is where you got to be careful with the parallax, I guess. Because, like, where those meet is just not going to show. It's not going to show well. So this is a cool map. These are nice, too. What did you make these in? Is this under Photoshop? 3ds Max. So you must have modeled those, I guess. So with the, yeah, those masks. So that banding that's happening in your height map, that's directly because of you not being 16-bit in Designer or wherever you're baking. So you're getting a lot of stepping. Man, that's crazy. You'll notice in games like World of Warcraft as well that most of the time they just build their wood material textures that are chipped like this style in a tileable sense. I mean, it looks like you're using it in a way like that. So they build their caps, they build their sides. GIF might cause stepping, Dweller. Droppy. So there is that. That is very true. The GIFs might cause stepping, which is a shame. Watch out for gradients in the wood beams. Looks like there's some gradients in the normal map. I'm not sure how that's happening. It might be because of how these are modeled out. But like as you can see, if you could make like a really nice, maybe like 2 to 3 tileable wood materials with different caps, you could get away with applying them like tileables. And then where that edge is there, that's just its own texture on the ends, and you're good. So this scene's pretty cool. It's really missing that material. It has that material problem that it looks like you're still tackling with. It's like probably your biggest weakness right now is material definition. Scene's also super dark. And yeah, I guess I'm assuming that this is modular, right? Because if this is modular, you can just build one of these and then get the mask looking really good on it. Like it doesn't have a mask, it looks like, that's breaking up the interaction between the pieces, as well as like where grime and stuff builds up or changes in roughness based on the topology of the shapes. See what else we got here. And then the text like is really dirty for no reason. Because lots of, like, I would definitely look at reference of like not only maybe sci-fi movies and how they're doing their paint, but also like and materials. But like just looking at the shapes and the design for how like things are made in sci-fi films, as well as like looking at NASA stuff or hard surface in general, like real life and 3D. That'll give you a lot. I think the ground here is looking pretty good. It's overly dusty. Like it feels like everything that you have has a little bit of a cloud noise on it. Like, oh, that's Substance Designer. Where are we at here? So, like with this one. So with this one, I'm trying to keep it in the crevices, and I think what I'm seeing in yours right now is a lot of range. Like everything has it, right? And you could see like, I guess that looks kind of okay, but it's let's make it really kind of like where are we at here? Where are we at? To make it really tiley. So like that's, I'm getting like this kind of vibe with your stuff, with your materials like in here. It's just like overly like over definition, I guess, material Over definition. I'm like, what's the word that I want to... There we go. I was masking it all. Gotta get it out there. Hide that folder. So you can see it's just kind of everywhere, right? So like controlling that and getting it exactly where you want. Soaking it all in. Dope. Get soaked? No. I mean, you have really interesting ideas. You're just, right now you're executing at maybe like a... I'm no sugarcoating, right? We'll be constructive, but no sugarcoating. So right now, out of a 10, your materials you're executing at maybe like a 6 out of 10. And it has a lot to do with the way that you're utilizing your roughness information and like how you're propagating detail across surfaces. Second to that is making sure that the materials look like the materials that you're trying to portray. So like if this is metal, like it needs to feel like metal, right? Maybe it's painted metal. If it's painted metal, then you can start to get your detail definition through like chipped paint and kind of like the roughness difference between paint and metal that you get. That seems to be the common go-to when it comes to trying to do this type of surface. And then I guess modeling wise, right now you're not taking the modeling far enough. So like I can see the shape of the geometry here. Don't be afraid to make this piece multiple parts that are pushed into each other to make the shape. Because those in turn look much more natural instead of having pieces that are kind of extruded and inset and beveled from one piece. Like this edge here, like I'm wondering if I can just like... Oh, I've never made Moto this small before. This is going to be weird. I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. This is nice. I love this breakdown. This type of breakdowns are really good. Like those pipes up there should be as dark as the ceiling if you're going for that darkness. Still really dark with how bright the rays are. Like that just needs to be like bouncing light right back up, right? Where are we at here? So like that shape. The shape here. Actually, let me real quick look through this. So we won't talk about this scene just because it's suffering from the same... Oh, some cool details, though. It's suffering from the same material problem. This scene looks pretty good. There's some weird, like, dust particles floating around in it. Man, there's lots of props here. And then this is when I start to see, like, the material problem again, where the colors are really outside of their range. As far as, like, you have things that are ultra-saturated and then a really subdued scene. And then the next thing is scale. Like... how tall stuff is and how thick that counter is. It's super thick. Those pillows are ultra perfect. I would suggest making like 2 or 3 pillows just so that you can get some variety. Mainly because you're not shipping a game, you're just going for it. Thick counters are a thing. So thick counters are a thing, but in 3D they usually look wrong. It's kind of like that manhole or sewer drain that's sitting in the stairs. Like, that's totally real life. But if you did that in a game, your art director would freaking destroy you. Like, what are you doing? What is that? So let's look at this shape here. So what I'm seeing right now is maybe... That's basically the shape, right? So like taking... Something's bugging me now. Okay, so taking these shapes and like turning this into, maybe this is like a... I'll just cut down like this. Maybe, oh man. And we need to split and cap. All right, so maybe this is its own piece, right? Like that alone, like separating these pieces out is going to be really good for trying to get that to look right. Just because now you can think about how is this piece bolted on, and like where do these connect, and this edge here is really tight, so maybe you bevel that. The other thing too is when you bevel things, like pay attention to your, so that's 20 millimeters. This whole thing scales kind of weird. But when you bevel other things that are similar in nature, make sure everything is beveling that same amount. So we'll go with like 20. So getting these details is going to be key, and separating out all the pieces to try and make them. We need a bevel emote. We really do. I need to get partner if you want more emotes in Twitch. But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of touching on some things. I need to remove that. And you'll see I get kind of messy when I model. I don't really, as long as it looks all right in the engine and it's not like overly expensive. Like maybe you add another bevel to this one because it's really big. Maybe even bevel that again. But these are the things that separate you from the others. Like, cause see, now I have these. Maybe I take this stuff. I really need to move on to the next portfolio. Maybe you take those and you extrude those out. And then because I've extruded too far, I need to shrink this. 'Cause you wanna think about how stuff is put together. See, now that I have that edge, maybe I can put some bolts here, right? And then you're like, oh, that's how that's attached to the side. Everything's much clearer now. Oh. Anywho, yes, materials, modeling, those are like bam, bam, bam. Any advice on how to learn Moto the best way? To just get into it, man. YouTube everything, ask me questions, ask other Moto people questions. You're in the Discord, right? I think you're in the Discord. The answers are there. Just have to ask. Moto, anywho. I hope that was helpful, and I apologize for the other portfolio because I took some of that time. One thing I wanted to say about this is your grass is, think about, like, if there's a path here, that means grass used to be there, right? There used to be grass here, and maybe it's been worn down because they've walked the path so many times, right? The way your grass is height-wise on the sides here, like if we do here, I'm gonna invert that, and then can I paint? Yes. Okay, so like this is your path, and then your grass is up here. Like think about starting your grass down low, and then as it gets closer to things like a building, for example, this is a building. See, look at that nice rooftop. Mouse drawing, got it. When you mow the lawn, you usually miss where it meets the building, unless you get the little hedge Like I forget the name of it. But if you don't cut that grass usually gets protected and tends to get longer than the rest. So then you get this effect where it's much scragglier and longer near a building. Oh no. You're next, man. You're next. But yeah, think about how everything grows. Think about how things are built. Think about material definition, and you will level up way faster than you ever dreamed. Like, not even kidding. Those are like, you hit those things, you will blow up real quick. Blow up's a good thing, by the way. Sounds terrible, but it's fine. Yeah. Cool. All right. I'm going to switch to the next portfolio. I hope that was helpful, man. And I will be right back. Whoop.